101.7 Light FM, Santana there. Hey, good morning. Appreciate you being here. We're at 8:42 this morning. Advisory services offered through Second Half Financial Partners, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The opinions voiced and information provided in this material are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments are appropriate for you, please consult with a financial advisor. Second Half Financial Partners, LLC does not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult your tax or legal advisor regarding your particular situation. And it's time. Check in on your money and find out what's happening on Wall Street this morning. I was kind of surprised it wasn't as bad yesterday as I was afraid it was going to be after the consumer price index came out. We might turn a corner past the point of no return this morning. On the phone, Philip Statler from Statler Financial Services in downtown Sebring. Philip, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Dave. How you doing? Well, today it is, man, I got to tell you, when we talk about some economic news, it is not looking good. Mixed bag yesterday, and it looks like it could be another mixed bag today.
I'd take mixed bag after this. After a really unpleasant CPI report with consumer inflation yesterday, it really wasn't that bad a day. The Dow actually added 56 points at the end of it all. S&P 500 was only a step or two removed from flat, down $11.88. NASDAQ lost 186. When you put those in the context of all the records the S&P and the S&P and the NASDAQ have set, that really wasn't all that bad a day. When you look at inflation from yesterday, I was honestly surprised we ended up that good.
Yeah, and then the Russell kind of brought it home yesterday, down almost 1%. So, of course, it's more interest rate sensitive. And like we talked about yesterday, interest rates are heading up, and they're heading up even more now. I looked at the 30-year, 5.02%, and the 10-year almost at 4.5%.
Which makes you go, oh, poop, and some of that's being driven by the fact that oil is staying above $100 a barrel again today. So we bring it up to this morning, and we get the second rung of the inflation reports that we get. Wholesale inflation, producer price inflation. Get this. This is the stuff that translates down into our pocketbook in a month or two. The stuff the factories and the wholesalers are doing. PPI plus 1.4% last month alone. They were only expecting 0.5%, and that annualizes out to like a 6% year-over-year inflation rate on the wholesale inflation. That's enough to make somebody jump out of a window in Washington.
That's a big number, Dave. I mean, that is a huge number. When you see a 1 month increase in the PPI up 1.4% and a year-over-year at 6%, that's just, I mean, we're 4 months in, this through April. You extrapolate that out, and that is not pretty at all.
I have one term for it that I hesitate to use, but it's actually getting into that neighborhood. Those are Biden-esque numbers, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. You and I, before we went on the air, talked about, hey, we just need to get this thing done and over with, and so we can proceed on and get through it. So we just can't. We got to quit monkeying around with Iran and just get it resolved.
At one way or the other. Yeah, the core, once you get rid of food and energy, was up 0.6%, which still stinks, and the annual air was 4%. But you can tell the producer price index very, very heavily driven by energy costs, and there's no surprise on that. As we blockade the Iranian ports, and the Iranians are blockading the Straits of Hormuz, so nobody's getting through. I got one report this morning from one of the projection people saying the oil crisis could become a full-blown catastrophe within a month. We were kind of giggling a month ago about how, Legos prices were going up because plastic's made of petroleum. Well, now over in the Asian rim, all the potato chip bags are coming out just printed in black and white ink, and we may very well follow it. Why? The colored inks are produced with petroleum, and conserving petroleum, well, they aren't even doing multicolored potato chip bags anymore. That's how bad it's getting in some corners.
Man, yeah, that's pretty bad, right?
It sounds trivial, but it just gives you a cartoonish view of just how tight things are getting. I mean, Philippines have declared an overt national energy crisis, which is making their more substantial residents have to cut back on their air conditioning, which in the Philippines isn't any fun. I mean, eventually some of this junk comes home to roost here as well.
That's right. And all of that really plays into these numbers, these producer price index numbers, and the CPI we had yesterday. I mean, all those things are the cause of these numbers going up.
Mm-hmm. One of my columnists was saying, "Yep, what used to be the ceiling appears to now be the floor for inflation. 2%. Not a bad term. The other side light to it too is that now, as of now, prices have officially risen faster than worker pay. So now we're back to the point of actually losing ground to inflation again, because pay rates haven't gone up as fast as the inflation in the month off of the CPI for yesterday, which of course means now all of a sudden our dollar's buying less, and nothing's looking positive this morning on the data dump side, is it?
It's not, Dave. Unfortunately, we are in that stretch right now where I hope this is, the darkest cloud before the storm breaks up.
That might be the proper way of saying it. I mean, the one thing President Trump did say the other day, and he didn't use the word the Federal Reserve people do. He said temporary. The one thing that you can say is that somewhere down the line, and you bring it home there, it's largely being driven by the fact that we're throwing rocks at Iran, even though it might be a ceasefire. It is a transitory episode. But the problem is when you start seeing things like the core numbers going up by 4 and 4.5% on an annualized basis, that's the stuff that goes up and doesn't go down either. So, I mean, inflation remains a really nagging problem. And I think that columnist may have it right that 2% is rapidly becoming the lowest we're going to be able to find in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be a tough road to hoe for now and the end of the year. We need some drastic changes to come through, and Iran's one of them. We just need to get that behind us.
Absolutely. Other things going on this morning. The first day for our new Kevin Warsh, the new chairman of the Federal Reserve, is going to be the day after tomorrow. He was nominated on the grounds because President Trump wants interest rate cuts. He was nominated on the grounds that President Trump felt that he would probably campaign for interest rate cuts at the Federal Reserve. One of the quotes out of a guy that the chief economist for RSM Management, quote, "We're not getting rate cuts this year, guys." I think that's a fait accompli with things looking like that, isn't it?
I definitely believe so, the way things are looking now.
Yes.
Hey, we got a little bit of tidbit. I got a little tidbit here. EchoStar, the big communications company, they got approval from the Federal Communications Commission to sell $40 billion of their wireless spectrum to AT&T and SpaceX. So AT&T is buying 50 megahertz of the spectrum, and SpaceX is buying 65 megahertz of that spectrum. So I'm that's a little over my science head, but I'm assuming that's gives them the ability then to use those airwaves and that space spectrum to use cellular data.
I was going to say SpaceX, I know, probably wants it for their satellite internet service. If AT&T is talking about opening up a whole bunch of new bands, a bunch of us with older cell phones might get screwed when they open it up, wouldn't they?
They would, but remember, so that would be interesting to see how that plays out.
One more reason to spend $1,000 and upgrade your cell phone. Just what we need while we're losing ground to inflation, right?
That's right.
I am a cynic this morning. I can't help it. Stuff going on the earnings front. I understand that the tree hugger shoe people, the Birkenstock people, reported. How are we doing selling overpriced sandals lately?
Not well, Dave. They actually missed on both fronts, on earnings and on revenue for their fiscal second quarter. They blame it on the Middle East. That's putting pressure on their European and Middle East and African markets. Those people are holding back, not spending money. So it really has Birkenstocks trading down They're down about 6.4% now.
Ouch. I was going to
Yeah.
say, generally the trend domestically is our luxury goods have been holding up relatively good, and $175 for a pair of sandals definitely qualifies as a luxury good in my book.
Yeah, yeah. And let's don't forget how popular they are in the European and Middle Eastern area. So, them pulling back is hurting for sure.
I
The
hear
other
you.
one I have for us today is Alibaba. Let's remember Alibaba is the Chinese e-commerce giant. They're kind of like our Amazon. They get this, their first quarter profit plunged 84%.
Son of a buck.
And they're not getting beat up real bad. They're only down about 2.5% right now.
Well, that's probably because the Chinese Communist Party put in a buy order in a
They're
hurry.
buying it up, right?
We talk about Alibaba as a foreign entity that we don't do any business with, but a lot of people do buy stuff there because what you buy at Amazon style stuff on Alibaba generally comes in bulk. So instead of buying one thumb drive, you buy a box of them at a low price, and it ends up becoming a pretty good bargain. Evidently, the tensions between us and China haven't helped Alibaba one tiny little bit, have they?
That definitely looks that way, Dave.
Evidently. Other tidbits you got?
That's really about it. I know that the photo photonic stocks are getting some bumps this morning because of AI supported optical networking. The likes of Coherent, Limitum, and Corning. Some names Corning we've definitely heard of. They do the glass for the iPhone. Um, all jumping this morning. I know Corning's up 4%.
Cool. Resetting the table here, it was a mixed bag day yesterday on Wall Street. Basically, the Dow was up. Everybody else was off, not by catastrophic numbers. 45 minutes before we opened this morning, at least on my delayed quotes, I'm almost seeing a reverse of yesterday. How we doing?
Well, it's kind of the deal, Dave. We got the Dow is getting beat up. I'm not sure what stock in there is getting hammered, but they're down 0.5% this morning. S&P 500 is not bad. It's down about $5.80 right now. NASDAQ 100 is actually up $62. The Russell 2000 is down $10.30. On the other side of the coin, we got a lot of green ink, Dave. We don't talk about it much, but copper is actually up 1.6%. It's up substantially from where it had been. It's like $6.60 an ounce right now. Silver's up 1.5%. Gold's flat. Crude oil's up 1/3%. Still not good number, Dave. $102.52 a barrel right now.
Not necessarily what we want to see. Asian Rim was a weird mixed bag, too, at the 6 a.m. close. Probably a little bit of euphoria over the summit meeting between Xi and President Trump over there, but the Chinese mainland markets were up well over 1% at the close this morning. Rest of the Asian Rim, kind of a mixed bag. Europe is scared stiff about price of oil. Everybody's negative this morning, not catastrophically, but it's dragging the average European index down by a couple 0.03%. It's one step removed from flat, but it's a mixture of some big ups and some big downs this morning, halfway through their trading day. Getting retirement together takes a plan, and dumb luck just doesn't cut it anymore. How do I find you to get a plan so I can retire someday?
Dave, then give us a call at 863-382-0037. We'd love to spend 30 minutes on the phone, see if you are heading in the right direction, and then catch the Statler Financial Radio Show this weekend, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk, 7:30 a.m., 95.3 FM.
And online at newstalk730am.com. My friend, I will see you tomorrow morning when we'll check in and see what happened to us today. Fair enough?
Fair enough, buddy. Have a great day.
Thank you. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services. Philip Statler.
Good morning, folks. Hope your day is going well. I look forward to speaking to you soon. Join us again tomorrow morning. Bye now.